Hi guys, this is the second half of last week's video. We got a heap of questions for us to answer about our first month on the road, so we're going to answer all of your questions today. So we both have a drink. It's an alcoholic beverage. If it's the afternoon or night, grab yourself an alcoholic beverage. If it's morning, grab yourself an alcoholic beverage, and we'll have drinks with Chris and Steph and answer some of your questions.
Or just sit there and watch the video, that's fine.
Yeah, no problem.
Ready?
Yeah.
Alright, so this might end up taking a while to go through them all, so we'll just jump straight into them. So the first one's from Harry Temple, and a shout out to Harry. He's the guy behind All Terrain Images on Facebook and Instagram, and he actually did a photo shoot on Pedro before we left on our big trip, and it will be in an upcoming feature on Unsealed 4x4. So go follow Harry's pages, All Terrain Images, and check out some of his photos. He's very good at what he does.
Yeah, he does a great job, takes awesome pictures, and he's a really, really nice guy.
Yeah. Harry asked us 3 things we wish we brought with us and 3 things we wish we left at home. This is a hard one because I don't think there is actually 3 things we wish we brought with us. Like, there's things we're definitely glad we have with us, but I don't think we really left anything at home that we wanted to bring. For me, the only thing I could think of was a backup pair of thongs, because I had a blowout on my Havaianas the other day and it was the end of the world. I didn't know what to do with myself. Like, it's snowing and gale force winds, but I still need to wear Havaianas. I can't handle shoes very often. So not having a backup pair of thongs, that was a big mistake on my part. It's now Chris, Steph and Scout.
Steph and Scout, yeah.
Is there anything you wish you brought from home? Straightener.
Yeah, so this is like, it's definitely not a need. I have a nice hair straightener. I thought, oh, I won't bring that, it's a bit big. I'll buy one that is like chargeable and usable by USB instead of 240, and it's a piece of crap. So I'm seeing if my mum can bring my straightener down to Tassie when she comes and does a bit of a road trip with us, but it's definitely not a need. I think we've thought through, well, so far I think we've thought through quite well the things that we bought and the things that we needed. It
will probably change as the trip goes on.
Yep.
We'll realise stuff. The only other thing I could think of was like our mattress, but it was like a big latex king size pillow top whatever mattress.
Couldn't really strap
Couldn't
that
bring
to the
it,
roof.
so that's a sacrifice.
Yeah, we both ended up buying some shoes for like walks,
like hiking shoes.
So we didn't bring those, and I ended up buying like a fleece jacket, which I didn't really have. But other than that, we've had everything we've needed so far.
Yeah. 3 things we wish we left at home. Still sort of working that out. There's going to be stuff. At the moment, all I can really think of is like the floor for our Foxwing section. We haven't used it once, but we haven't had a sort of a multiple night camp where we would want to set it up. I think it will come in handy later in the trip. So we're definitely going to find more things that we wish we had or didn't have as we go, but nothing major right now.
Yeah, we can't really say 3 things either way at the moment.
Lee Cerrone asked, do you miss your mums? And for those who don't know, that is my mum. Yes, we do, and we also miss our dads and brothers and sisters and the rest of the family.
In general.
Yep, we're missing everyone at home, friends as well. It is like there's not many hard things about doing what we're doing. It's a very, very nice lifestyle change. Not working and traveling and seeing the country, but yeah, that is probably the main thing that's hard, is leaving friends and family behind. You do miss them, but unfortunately you can't load the whole car up with everyone and bring everyone along.
Yeah, there's
anyone
some
that
three
wants
things
to,
we want, wish we brought along, some family members.
yeah, anyone that does want to come meet up with us somewhere, book a ticket or jump in the car and meet us anywhere you want.
Exactly.
But yes, we do miss friends and family.
Yeah. So Jody Lee Oxenham asked, is there anything you would do differently? And what would you change to make things easier being on the road? We didn't have anything for that, did we?
I don't think there's much we'd do differently. We're pretty happy with the decisions we made and the setup we've got. The only thing I can really think to make it easier in some ways when we had the real bad weather would be if you had a caravan, but then that makes other parts of your trip harder. It's more expensive to stay places and harder to tow on some roads and that sort of thing, but we're pretty happy with our setup. Again, a lot of these questions and answers are going to be different in a few months' time when we've found a few more issues or something, but at this point there's nothing I would really change
yeah, not
or
really.
to make it easier.
Yeah, like our washing, like doing clothes, like washing clothes and stuff it's not hard, but it definitely could be easier if we had like a washing machine. But same thing, if you have a washing machine, you need somewhere to put it. Usually that's in a caravan or something, and then you're towing. So it's a give and take sort of thing always with everything.
Yeah, and even with that we've just learnt to do smaller loads more often, and just manage it. Like when the weather's good, get on top of it. Probably the most underrated thing I reckon we've packed for this trip is like lengths of paracord to make clotheslines and pegs. I thought like maybe bring 6 pegs. We might use them once every now and then. We use pegs every friggin' chance we get. Like, and
thanks Lee for the good pegs.
Thank you, Mum.
Because the ones we have are pieces of shit and crack as you try to put them over the clothing.
So thank you, Mum, for the good pegs.
Thank you.
They're used very, very frequently. So Monica Jankowska, I always get the harder names to read. Do you have any Centrelink support while you are unemployed, and how do you deal with the internet? No, we don't have any Centrelink support. We don't have anything like that. I think Centrelink probably wouldn't like that we save money and have money in our bank account. So we've just got savings from working hard, and literally the only other income we get is our rent for our house that we're renting out, but that also has ongoing costs as well with our mortgage, because we don't own the house outright. So yeah, it's pretty much just coming out of what we save for the trip. Yeah,
and we get a little bit from like YouTube.
Yeah,
maybe like, enough to fill the car like once a month.
Yeah, at the most, like a tank of fuel a month.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all we've got. It was, yeah, pretty much always just our savings. That's why we saved so hard for so long to get ourselves here. And despite what some people think, we're not sponsored. We don't have like endorsements.
No one's given us a heap of stuff to just set us up and go enjoy. We've worked really hard for what we have.
Yeah, we internet.
Yeah, the other half of that question was about internet. I set up before we left Telstra Air off like my brother Shane's, thank you Shane, internet that he has at his place, but we haven't really used that much, but it is good to have. We're both on we've got off plans, and we're both on just Audi prepaid mobile phone, pay as you go type.
Yeah, just prepaid plans.
Yeah.
That Audi plans use the Telstra network as well.
Yeah, and we've found it really good, and we both get just a extra large pack a month. I think it's $35, 20 gigabytes of data, and it rolls over. We can hotspot to our laptop from our phone and just upload our videos for YouTube. And so far it's been a bit tricky, but so far it's been fairly easy to do. And we're trying to upload like regularly. If you weren't trying to upload videos, it'd be fine.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't even need the packs that we're on.
No.
But like Steph burns through hers fairly quick, and then I've got like excess
that rolls
over and stuff like that.
Yep, so that's really helpful.
So JB Pasqualen, and I apologise for mispronouncing names early in the video. How's the oil consumption in Pedro's engine? I'll just break this one down. How's the oil consumption? Haven't put a drop in it in that 5,000 Ks first month. Big shout out to Rowan, a friend at home who serviced the car before we left and does everything on the car for us. He's a legend. He knows everything about patrols, like in and out. He serviced it, all the oils and filters before we left, and haven't put a drop in so far. What tyre pressures on the highways? I'm around 34, 36 in the tyres we've got on now, and that seems pretty good, pretty even wear. And how's the air conditioner and heater? They work really well. We had the aircon serviced and regassed maybe 8 months or so before our trip, but it's always worked really well. The aircon's ice cold. The heater works really well, but first, I think with Steph struggling with her cold feet, it doesn't seem to blow very hot air like down onto your feet for some reason, but that's about it. Apart from that, you put it on your face and your face is melting pretty quick, so
and it's really good in the
aircon and heater, very good.
So Lachlan McConville asked, how's the budget and finances going? As we mentioned in the last video, we're treating this part of our trip as a holiday, so we're
no budget.
We're not really also recording every dollar we're spending. We don't want to spend all of our time like analysing all of that.
I don't think a lot of people are really interested either. Like, I don't think everyone needs to know every dollar we spend, because that's different for everyone. So
yeah, but it is something that obviously is something needed to travel. You need money to travel, so obviously it's something that people want to know. As we said, we've saved a fair bit for our travel, but it's not just for our travel. We don't know what we're going to do after we travel, so we've just saved in general. And so far
and like, we never really wanted to travel then go back home with no money. We wanted to have that bit of excess anyway. Also, like, the confidence knowing if halfway around the trip we had a major repair or
the car set on fire or
like something major happened, we'd be okay. That was a big thing. But yeah, like, we didn't want to do our trip, get back home with $0, straight back into work and go again.
Yeah, but getting back to the question, the finances, it's going really well. We broke down in our last video our fuel costs and our accommodation, which we think are probably the main things people would want to know. And we've bought meals here and there. We paid for the Spirit of Tasmania coming over, and we've also paid for the Spirit of Tasmania coming back. But other than that, it's just general daily things, groceries and stuff like that. So yeah, so far the finances, there's nothing out of the ordinary that we've been not planned so far.
Yeah. I can say pretty confidently in our first month, the two biggest costs have been fuel and alcohol. We weren't planning to, but we were thinking about trying to keep track of like how many bottles of alcohol we go through. But everyone's going to be different, like we said. But yeah, especially in that holiday mode where you just want to have some drinks and that, like pretty much every afternoon, you're going to go through it a bit. But definitely alcohol and fuel have been up there. Our accommodation was cheaper than we sort of thought for the first month, because we are able to free camp in this setup pretty easily. Alcohol you can't avoid the cost of, it's just part, like, yeah, if you're going to drink, that's whatever they charge. And same as fuel, you need it, so you just got to get it where you are, even if the costs are high. There's no way around it really.
Yep. I'm just gonna say Margaret, because the last name I'm really unsure how to pronounce, and it's just
McNeil.
No, there's another name.
Say the other name. I can't.
I don't want to offend anyone by trying to say that name, but she asked, how do you manage your dog? And this is a good question, I think, because it's something I would have asked every single person that I've seen travelling Australia with a dog before we left, because it's very hard to know how difficult it is to travel with a dog when you are travelling full time. It's surprisingly easier than we both thought, I think, to manage travelling with a dog. Generally, if we pull up somewhere, parks and things, all fine to have a dog. If you pull up at a cafe or whatever, you can eat out there and have your dog. You can find dog-friendly campsites on Wikicamps, which we do most of the time. There's apps and things out there now, which we haven't yet utilised, but we probably will, called Mad Paws, Paw Shake and Pet Cloud. They're all apps where people pet sit from their homes. And there's just people out there in groups that if you put out in the area that you're in, if you need your dog pet sat, if you're wanting to go to certain national parks and things, they'll just say, yep, I can look after him. We've had a couple of things like that, and we're getting...
Shout out to Renee.
Yeah, we're getting Scout pet sat over sort of the next week while we travel around Tasmania with my mum. We're going to be doing some national parks and things. We just thought it'd be a lot easier if he was somewhere where he could just get sport and play around. Renee, big shout out to Renee. We found her just on the Pet Walkers Tasmania group on Facebook, something like that, and I was looking at places that did pet sitting, and they all needed like interviews and then days where they assessed if your dog fitted in, and then you could book in with them, and we just sort of didn't have that all that time in one place to do that. And Renee sort of saw that, and she has a little Boston Terrier which is similar to Scout's breed, and we met them at a dog park and they seem to get on really well, so she's going to look after him for about a week or so for us. So you just never know till you ask. We've found most things quite good, and Scout loves travelling with us. He sleeps most of the time in the car and then runs out, sniffs and pisses on things, and he's happy.
Quick note, French Bulldogs, for those that don't know, aren't like real dogs. He sleeps like 18 to 20 hours a day. He's happy with like one decent walk and sort of a run around for 4 minutes and he's done. Like, you throw him in the car, by the time you get to the end of the street he's snoring, and yeah, he'll like sleep in his spot in the car for 12 hours overnight, easy.
He loves it in there. Like, we planned out a little spot for him, and we made a bed that pulls in and out, and we were planning that he might sleep outside of the car some nights it so far. He's just slept in the car, and we'll climb down the rooftop tent just to both have a wee ourselves during the night and let him out in case he needs to. And we'll wee, get him out, he'll wee, and then he'll run straight back to the door, look up and just sit there and wait until he's picked back up and put back in bed. He loves it, absolutely loves it.
Okay, so the next one's from Stephen Clay. How are you finding the bad weather days? Do you have enough shelter for those windy, cold, horrible days, or are you stuck in the tent or car? This is a very good question. The best example I can give is we stayed at Lithgow for 2 nights. The wind was really cold and chilly. We put the Foxwing out and had 2 like Foxwing walls down to block the wind, and it was sweet. Like, as soon as we blocked that wind, it was warm and nice in that area. The whole like Foxwing covered area was really good. We also stayed at Bungendore, which is like outside of Canberra. There was a chilly wind there. We put the drop room off our Bundatech tent, and it worked really well. It was just a bit close having 2 chairs and a table. But when it came to that like gale force wind down here, there was just nothing we really had. Like, the tent held up really well to that really strong wind, but obviously you don't want to, you know, tempt fate and leave it up and get smashed around if you don't have to. And we were like just trying to drive around, find better areas through the day, so I guess you could call that like trapped in the car. So far we've found our setup's fine for normal wind, rain, cold, heat, all that sort of stuff. But when it comes to that just bullshit strong
100 km/h winds with rain and snow, we did trap ourselves in the car, and we just stayed in there we ordered food like from a hotel or camped outside of, went in, got it as takeaway, ate it in the car, because we've got Scout and sometimes he barks and stuff when we're away, and we were in the car for a fair while, that like for almost a full day. So basically there's 2 sides of that question. One, we're pretty happy with the whole setup in general. For normal conditions, when it gets real bad, like full on wind, like just extreme weather, it is like there's no way around it. Like, you're looking at these people in motorhomes and caravans and you wish you had the solid walls and stuff. But I think we sort of knew that coming into with a rooftop tent, it's canvas, like there's only so much you can do. And we sort of accounted for that. We were happy to say stay in a cabin or something for that night, but we left it quite late and there was nothing around, so we just had to make do, and it was fine in the end. But it would have been nicer to be inside somewhere, for sure, definitely. Diane asked, how long do you plan to be in Tasmania, and are you getting used to the weather variations down there? So it's quite similar to the last question in regards to the weather. We are definitely getting used to it. Like they say, 4 seasons in a day. You'll see blue sky, and then half an hour later fully cloudy, and then raining, and then blue sky, and then raining, and then blue sky, and then raining. So we definitely,
to give it credit, yesterday and today, blue sky, sun all day. Beautiful weather. Bay of Fires, love it. So we are getting used to it, but we also weren't really wanting to accept it, especially with that big cold front that came through with the snow and the wind. We really needed to get out of there because we still needed to like be dry our stuff out, dry our tent out, and not just be absolutely freezing where we were. So the actual Tasmanian weather, other than that extreme cold front, we're definitely getting used to it, and it's fine.
I think.
How long are we going to be here?
We're here for about 2 months in Tasmania. Yep.
And I will add, I'm partly glad that low front came in with the full-on wind and rain, snow, everything, because I think we learn a lot in a very short amount of time. We actually put the fox wing up and walls zipped together in gale force winds.
Do not do that.
It's not that bad. You make sure you have backup thongs, because I blew mine out and was pissed off.
And have a wife that has like a bit of muscle, because holding that thing down.
Backup thongs and a stronger wife, you're good to go.
Yep.
It's fine. But we set it up and packed it up in gale force winds, pretty torrential rain. Our tent, like dealing with it, we've worked out ways of packing it up when it's soaking wet and keeping all our bedding perfectly dry, all that sort of stuff. Another thing we've learnt in that time is we've really tested that added room awning on the Bundatech tent. I've been putting 2 guy lines back to the actual patrol itself, not pegging it into the ground, and it's held up to those over 100k an hour winds really well. Which before I was a bit unsure of how it would go, but now knowing what it can handle, it's like a really good peace of mind, I think.
Yeah, like we're not worried to put the tent up and that awning out anywhere really now, which is great, because looking at the awning, the way it's made up, you think, oh god, maybe that's a bit, it's not tough enough the way they've made it, but I think they've put it through its paces, because it really holds up really well. Like, it still sounds crazy when those winds are coming through, but it doesn't even look like it's been touched. When you look at it, it looks fine.
Do it and then I'll go.
Rachel Goodwin. Hey Rachel, how's the work at Tersa going? She just said, where has time gone? Surely it hasn't been that long already. And I completely agree. I feel like it has not yet been a month. A whole month. Completely agree with that. Have no idea where the time's gone, but if you want to throw us some more time this way, would happily take it.
And a quick shout out to Brett at Tersa. I know you're loving it without her. And also Pete at Total Trimming. The bags are going awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pete.
And we'll show those bags to anyone interested in a video soon as well.
Yeah, just with our storage and things. But we'll do a video on our storage and what we're taking, how we pack the patrol as well.
Yeah. And let us know if there's something really specific, because we're going to do a full walk around of exactly how the car's set out. But if there's something really specific you want to know, just ask.
Those snorts that you can hear, that's just Scout sleeping on my lap, so just letting you know.
Okay, so Jake Mueller, can you say hello to my parents for me? They are in Tassie at the moment.
Hi Jake's parents.
Hi Jake's parents. How good is Tassie?
If we run into you, we will say hello in person.
Yeah, look out for the patrol, say hello. Jacko Collins, how has the patrol been holding up? Amazing, so much better than a cruiser. Like a lot better than a cruiser.
It's done well so far. Sarah Mitchell, how do you go about getting into town, or if you want to do some four-wheel driving if you're all set up at a campsite? I'm doing the same thing, just taking the car with a swag. Have you had to deal with hot weather and how do you cope? I can't sleep if it's too hot. So getting into town, things like that, once you've set up, because our rooftop tent is very quick to set up and pack up, we've stayed 2 nights in Yass, at the showgrounds, yet we've packed up the camp and driven in to do what we needed to do and came back. So the pack up doesn't really put us off. All in all, with our camp chairs and everything, it's like 10 minutes. So it's not a big deal, but it's still you know, it's not the same as dropping your caravan somewhere. You still do have to pack up. And then the other part of that was how have you had to deal with hot weather and how do you cope? The first part of our trip was quite warm, and then now obviously it's cold, but we haven't had extreme heat and we both don't cope super well in the heat. We do have a fan that we brought with us that is sort of like a mini aircon that doesn't work well in humidity, but everything else, like you add water to it and it sort of acts like a mini aircon. So we're hoping that might help in the extreme heat, but we haven't really come across that yet. So we'll let you know when we are in that really extreme heat and let you know how we're coping there.
So the next one's from Marley Newbie. Hey Marley, back at Casino. Question is, what problems have you guys come across, if any, that you thought wouldn't happen? As far as like wouldn't happen, I've sort of factored in that there would be a few little problems here and there with the car. Maybe the biggest problem would be just settling in and getting used to the whole finding a camp. Yeah, like the process of doing all that.
Going with the flow.
Going with the flow. Getting to a place, it's not great. Working out what you're going to do from there. I didn't really expect as much of that, I suppose. Yep. But it's not really a problem, it's just adjusting to how you do it.
Yeah, and we've had a few things with the patrol, but we didn't expect that there wouldn't be, so.
Yeah. Dean Thatcher, how are you finding the 35-inch muddies considering you're touring? Would you consider an aggressive all-terrain 33-inch? It's personal preference. I won't go down from what I've got. I like the car on these. It's geared to suit these tyres. I have a bit more confidence off-road knowing I've got that bit of extra clearance. So personal preference, I wouldn't change from what I've got. If if you're geared differently and stuff, 33-inch tyres are enough to go around Australia with, but yeah, I like the added confidence of extra clearance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't need 35-inch tyres, but I'm happy with them. So.
And Ursula Bentley, hi Ursula, she's back at our hometown as well, and she was working with me up until recently. What do you do to keep interested on a long driving stretch? Please don't tell me it's spot the yellow car. We don't really, well, obviously, as we've said in our last video, we've done a fair bit of driving. Like, we've covered a lot of kilometers, but we'll just chat, look at like properties and things and wonder how expensive they are. Yeah. Point out all the nice houses.
Yeah, like half of our drive is like, oh, look at that nice house. At least at this stage of the trip, there's that much going on, like out your windscreen, new stuff to look at. You just find you're talking sort of most of the trip.
Yeah, especially if you're like not sure where you're gonna be ending up. Like, I'll be looking up wiki camps and getting directions to the next, say, fuel station that's got a cheap fuel, or the next campsite that we want to check out, and then if that's not okay, moving on. So you're sort of constantly, you're still doing stuff.
Yeah.
As you're driving. I haven't feel bored at all yet. So I know that we said that this was going to be all your questions and answers, but we've like to talk and we've talked for way too long. This is going to be a really long video, and if you've made it to this far, thank you. We appreciate it. Hi Mum. Hi Dad. Hi Chris's mum. Hi Chris's dad, because they're probably the 4 people that are watching to the end. Maybe not even my dad.
Hey guys.
We'll answer the rest in another video because there's just, it's too long. So we will say goodbye here and we will see you in the next one. And thanks for watching.
Thanks guys.
Cheers.